Hello friends, my name is Smruti Vasavda and today we are going to start with the third chapter, that is compensation for special groups and recent trends. The next approach is replacement cost approach. In replacement cost method, the aggregate cost related to the selection, recruitment, training, development is considered as a suitable replacement of company's expertise and experience available in the organization. There are two categories of replacement cost. The first category is personal replacement. In personal replacement, the person itself gets replaced by some other person with similar or same set of skills. The next category is positional replacement. In positional replacement, the position of the employee gets replaced by some other position. For example, there are two employees, Mr. A and Mr. B. Mr. B belongs to some other organization. So here in positional replacement, Mr. B replaces Mr. A, who is in the same position as Mr. B in other organization. There are various benefits to replacement cost method. The first benefit is it is practical and logical method. It is assumed that replacement cost method is a very practical and logical method since it considers the replacement cost incurred by the organization with the employees of the same or similar set of skills. The next advantage is present oriented. It considers the present situation in mind and does not consider the past or future situation. There are various disadvantages to replacement cost method. The first disadvantage is it is vague method as finding a replacement is difficult. It is vague or it is illogical method since finding an exact replacement is difficult for the organization. The next demerit is it is difficult to fix the future values of human resource. It is very difficult for the organization to predict the future values of human resource investments. The next demerit is it does not consider the loyalty, the knowledge and competence of the employees. The next method in human resource cost accounting is opportunity cost method. Opportunity cost method values the human resource on the basis of economic concept of opportunity cost that is linked with scarcity. Any decision that has more than one alternative has an opportunity cost involved in it. The opportunity cost for employee arises when his services are required by more than one or by many departments in the organization. For example, we can say the IT department or the employee of IT department has an opportunity cost because each and every department would require his service. There are various merits in opportunity cost method. The first merit is it is quantitative in nature. Here, the qualitative aspects are ignored and all the quantitative factors are taken into consideration and hence it is considered as a quantitative approach. The next merit is there is an optimum utilization of scarce human resource. All the scarce human resource in the employee market gets optimally utilized in opportunity cost method. There are various demerits to opportunity cost method. The first demerit is it is suitable for middle level managers. There are various levels in the organization: top level, middle level and lower level. Here, the opportunity cost method is suitable or is useful only for the middle level managers and not for the top level and lower level. The next demerit is the services are not readily available for auction. A particular employee cannot work for more than one department because already he is into workforce. The next demerit is the performance in one department may vary to that of the performance in other department. It is possible that the performance of the person may vary in both departments according to his skill set. A person, if he is performing well in a finance department, may not be able to perform well in marketing or sales department. The next demerit is it demotivates the employees. It demotivates all the other employees who has no opportunity cost in the organization. The next approach is standard costing method. In standard costing method, HR data is used to allocate the standard cost for various HR functions such as selection, training, development, etc. All the employees are categorized into grades, and these grades are assigned a standard cost according to the skills required by them. There are various benefits to the standard costing method. The first benefit is it is simple and easy to understand and operate. It is simple and easy to calculate as well as understand because it assigns the particular standard cost to each and every skills required by the organization. Since all the employees are given a particular grade and accordingly the skills required by them are evaluated and standard cost is assigned to them. The next merit is the standard cost is determined for every year. Each and every year, the standard cost required by the organization for various grades gets revised. So here there is a revision of the pay according to the standard cost incurred by the organization. There are various demerits to the standard costing method. The first demerit is it lacks objectivity in estimating the value of human resource. Here the value of human resource investment gets completely ignored and the cost incurred by the organization gets importance. The next demerit is it is time consuming. It is a very time consuming activity since all the employees needs to be divided or categorized according to their grades and standard cost needs to be assigned to each of them. The next demerit is determining the standard cost every year becomes a difficult task. It becomes a little difficult for the organization to determine a standard cost every year to revise the standard cost every year. It becomes a very time consuming and lengthy activity. The next approach is current purchasing power method. In current purchasing power method, the historical cost of human resource investment gets converted into the purchasing power by assigning them the index number. The next approach is asset multiplier approach. In asset multiplier approach, each and every employee gets categorized on the basis of the level of management, such as the top level, middle level, lower level, supervisory, clerical, etc. And after that, to calculate the wages and salaries of each of the category is multiplied with a particular asset multiplier. So here the asset gets multiplied with a particular number and hence it is called asset multiplier method.